Good evening, Hyperspinners. Today we're going to be talking about how to set up the dice system, so get ready. Alright guys, I do apologize. It's been a while since I've uploaded a video. There's been a lot going on in my life, and here we are. So today we're going to be talking about setting up dice. And dice is essentially ping pong-ish emulator. It's hilarious here that, I'm looking at the, updates here. It's still being updated. Well, maybe I grabbed an older version. I'm using 0.06 and it looks like there's 0.09 on here, but yeah, there's some games that are now in color, which is kind of funny to me, but we are talking about dice after all, so we are talking black and white. We're talking mostly Pong-ish games, so let's go ahead and get started here. So first things first, we are looking to download your emulator as well as your media. So the module to the dice wheel you'll find in your Hyperspin and or Rocket Launcher folder, depending on wherever you put Rocket Launcher at. And what you're going to do is open up the modules folder within Rocket Launcher. You're going to select dice, and then you're going to open up the auto hotkey. Remember, the auto hotkey allows you to see where the emulator is stored and what version it supports. So it supports all the way up to version 9, which is good if you want the latest and greatest. And yeah, you're going to go to atoemulation.blogspot.com and you are going to find the version that you're after. So if you're after dice 0.9, you're going to scroll down to the bottom of that page and you're going to select download links, and you're going to download the 64-bit. And once you've done that, you're going to find some media on the Hyperspin website. So I'm going to scroll over to that, and we are at the download section. So I'm under hyperspinfe.com/files/category/40 -dice. And what you're going to find is the XML is here, some wheel art, main menu themes, pointers. It's got a decent size media here. And yeah, there is a pointer. I can't remember if I uploaded that or not, but it does say Hyperspin there. Yeah, it is what it is. So just to kind of preview some of this media, if I go to media and I go to dice, this is kind of the stuff that you're going to end up seeing. Obviously, I've done some customization to the wheels. I've put the nice border on them. I kind of spruced up the wheels themselves just by putting some background to it and some border there. I'll go ahead and zoom in there. There you go. And yeah, that is the wheel art. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, I've got the same pointer that's on there. And we'll look at, I feel like there might be artwork somewhere. Nope. Yeah, I mean, what would it be? A box art of a 1975 Pong game? What was I thinking? So the themes, there are a couple themes that you can find floating around on the Hyperspin website and or the FTP. And it looks like there's Gotcha, Pong, Rebound, and got a defaults theme. One of these days I'll upload a lot of this media for you guys. So once you've got all your files, next you are going to go to Hyper HQ, and you're going to click this main menu wizard. You're going to click the plus sign a couple times. Once you've said that you're going to enter a subwheel, you're going to type in dice and hit next a couple times. Once you're congratulated, you can go to the wheel settings tab. You're going to select dice from the drop down, and you're going to make sure that your settings look something like this. Now, you'll notice in the dice auto hotkey, there's a note that you can basically create text files, and there's more than one way to slice this pie. So you can do it this way, or you can do it the way that I've set this up. Both are equally as easy. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out. We're going to get back to it. So HyperHQ, the executable is going to be the dice exe. You can see that there's a little blurb here. I don't think that matters so much. It launches just fine because Rocket Launcher essentially replaces this, but all in all, put the executable of your dice exe wherever you install your dice emulator. So I've installed the emulator under Emulators folder, dice, and then the dice exe is in here. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down here so you can see it. We're going to go to dice, and there you go. So the file name is dice exe, and yeah, that's weird there, but it does run just fine here. And then your game path is going to be in your emulator folder. You're going to create a dice folder and then LNK, and you're going to see that there. And then your extensions are going to be LNK. So this is specifically just to launch these games using the playlist that I have. That's why I still have HyperHQ set up. I might actually fix this just to make sure that it works, but I think we're going to be good. I'll do this after the video, but that doesn't pertain to you guys. Doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and continue out here. We're going to go to the wheel tab. You're going to move the alpha to your set value that you like. That's your shade of the wheel as you scroll over your games. And then your themes, you're always going to select animate out default themes, reload background, and if you choose, you can select wheels only, so it only displays the games with your wheel art. I'm going to go ahead and move on. Video tab, nothing. Sound, nothing. And special art, I've set this up to equate to my frames for my special art C, which is your genre art, and then your button art at the bottom. If you've been following along the tutorials, you'll see those frames as I'm demonstrating Hyperspin. I'm going to go ahead and close that out because you are now done with HyperHQ. That will have created all the folders in the media folder. It will have created a dice folder in databases. So go ahead and drop that XML that you downloaded from Hyperspin. If you haven't downloaded it here, you can download it from hyperlist.com. But you're going to go down to databases, you're going to go down to dice, and you're going to drop that XML and name it as dice XML. If you've been following along, there are tutorials on how to create these genres. I'm not going to go into that here. So I'm going to scroll back out of there, and we are going to go to the actual emulator here and set that guy up, as well as Rocket Launcher. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Rocket Launcher UI next. And what we're going to do is go to the global settings here. We're going to go to Emulator, and we're going to scroll down to Dice. And if you do not see that there, you can always push the plus sign. It looks like I've set this up specifically under the system. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down to Dice. And it looks like default emulator is Dice Global. So maybe I just missed it in the alphabeticalness of it all. And I did. Here we are. So I'm going to double click that. And if you don't see that, push the plus sign there. You're going to select Dice as the name. You're going to select the path of your emulator. And then your ROM extensions are going to be TXT, pipe, INK. And your module is going to be Dice AutoHotkey. You can find that using the magnifying glass. So once you've got that set up, you're going to go down to your Dice emulator wheel here, and you are going to go to the settings tab first. You're going to make sure that your main menu settings are all set up. Use global settings for all of these with a skip check of false. And the use global settings you can find in my Rocket Launcher tutorial. I believe I'm going to say video 1 and or video 2 will cover those bases if you have the exact setup as I do. Next, we are going to go to the fade screen. Fade in, I've got all set up to use global, so it does support the fade in and fade out nicely. And we're going to go to bezels. It looks like I've got it set to false because I like it, you know, nice and wide here. So that is that, and we are good to go. So we've covered those bases, and we are going to go to the Emulators tab next. Next, we're going to use the game path to your LNK, and your default emulator is going to be DICE. Next, we're going to go to the Modules tab. We're going to check to see if the ISD settings needs to be changed. So I'm going to click this Edit Global Settings, and it looks like there's just full screen, so we are good there. And all we've got to do next is set up this emulator. So we're going to go to the emulator folder. We're going to select DICE, and what you're going to see is something like this. So when you install DICE, you are going to drop it in a folder similar to this, and you'll find a exe here. And what you'll find is I've got a folder here that's blank. That doesn't matter. It's the you know, the LNK here, and all we've got to do is create a shortcut to this DICE exe. So you can just right-click that and you know, create a shortcut. And once you've done that, you're going to find a file that has a little arrow on these icons. And what you'll do is you'll just name that shortcut the name of the game. So I did this, what is this, 8 times, and I just renamed it to that game name. And then what I did is I right-clicked and I go to Properties, and you're going to find that the shortcut goes straight to your DICE emulator. And what you'll want to do is put in the game name and the full screen, so it'll be --full screen. And when we go here, you're going to see there is just DICE exe, because that's, you know, the game that's supported there. And then gotcha is going to be gotcha full screen. And Pong, we are going to go Pong full screen. Pong doubles, we're going to go Pong full screen. And Rebound is going to be Rebound full screen. And Space, yeah, it looks like there might be 1 or 2 of these that look a little weird, so I'm actually going to test that out here in a second. And this one's Pong full screen as well. So let's go ahead and look at this, see what we've, yep, that is why we do these things. So I'm going to go ahead and change this, and we are going to type in, to support the command line essentially, this is going to be TV basketball. And there was also one other that I needed to fix, so I'm going to go ahead and look at these again. This is going to be Space Race. And we're going to apply that. So we've got the name of the DICE emulator, we've got the name of the game with a space, and then a dash full screen. So let's see. Rebound, I did. Pong doubles, we're going to type that in. Pong doubles. Pong is good. Gotcha was good. And breakouts. This is why we do these things here. So here we go. And there you have it. So now you've got each one of these games are all set up, and yeah, that's all there is to it. So basically that, so there you go. So that's going to basically launch this specific game when you use the, you know, your list of XML games. And what we're going to do is now set up dice. So we're going to just click on the dice XE. You're going to see that it's pretty simple to set up. There's not many settings to select from. So I'm going to go to settings, audio settings. I've got 44100. I've got basically settings that we don't need to mess with here. The configure inputs, we are going to just go down the list. It's basically going to be your directional pad essentially, and we're just going to go down the list. It looks like there are a few games that require some buttons, so you just push the button and then type in the letter that you want to use. And same thing applies here. You're just going to go down the list, type in all your keys, and then your coin and start, you want to make sure that you put those in as well. And user interface, I've got that set up, and your exit is set up to escape. So not a lot to set up here, so I'm going to go ahead and X out of this. And let's see, the dip switches, I don't think I really adjusted any of these. These were all default. And there you have it. So you have now another wheel in your Hyperspin setup complete in your arsenal. So I hope that helps you guys, and we will catch you next time.